I'm going to attempt to keep my anger from boiling over after that game because it's going to be hard for anyone to beat the Blazers when Damian Lillard puts up 11 threes with 6 minutes left in the third quarter, which is his career high, and he tied it tonight. So even on a night where the Wolves have great shot making and they're hitting a lot of tough ones, it just doesn't matter when you make the amount of mistakes that they do. So many missed opportunities. They go 10 of 19 in the game from the free throw line, so just over 50%. They also blow a ton of layups. Ant had probably 8 missed layups in that game. We would make a lot of tough twos and then miss some easy ones. And then on the other side, they just could not miss from 3. We weren't going to be able to keep up like that. Dame actually got most of these looks on off-ball screens where Nurk would set a screen for him and McDaniels would try to get back to him. Gobert wouldn't help at all. And then if Dame had any opening, he was just knocking down the shots. Started 8 for 10 in the first half from 3. And it was another night where Gobert was just terrible on the defensive end. Did not deter a soul from scoring at the rim. Anthony Simons finished on him a bunch, just like last game. There was a string of 2 minutes where Eubanks had like 3 buckets over him. Nurk continued to bully him a lot, got a couple offensive boards on him. And rebounding was really the only thing that Gobert was solid at tonight, and that's kind of how I've looked at it this entire season, is that's the only thing that he's really giving us. The Wolves still got slaughtered on the boards, lose it by 17, and that's more on everyone else other than Gobert. He just did not have any help on the glass, and it's super demonstrated looking at the first half box score. The only other starter that had a rebound was D'Lo. He had 1, Gobert had 15. The other starters, Kyle Anderson, Jaden McDaniels, Anthony Edwards, 2 of them being freak athletes, all of them being fairly tall, 0 rebounds between them. The 2 forwards would each end with 1, Ant had 2, D'Lo had 3 to end the game. Just terrible, which the Wolves even have been bad at rebounding, even with Gobert and Cat out there. It's almost inexplicable how they're that bad, and it's also inexplicable how Tim Connolly has a job and how he got hired for this. Every single move he made in the offseason has been bad, and that was my gut reaction seeing every single one. Gobert has to play at like an MVP level for him to be even close to worth it. Austin Rivers, though I've liked him most of his career, is not worthy of being on an NBA court right now. Bryn Forbes is useless and just looks like an absolute energy drain every time you see his face, just constantly. The only pickup that seems okay right now is Kyle Anderson, and that's mostly because he's had a really good stretch of games last 5 or so, and we sorely need him with no Taurean Prince. And when healthy, Kyle Anderson is far less important. So a lot of really bad roster decisions, and then with the talent we have, we continue to just not utilize them properly, or plainly not utilize them enough. Jalen Noel and Naz Reid are basically the only 2 people that I look at and I'm like, oh, they played really well tonight. And it seems like we're just never really giving them as much run as we should. And I stood up for Finch for a while. I just didn't really think things were going to work out when we went out and got Gobert because it's so contrary to what Finch is best at. So I kind of thought he was going to get fired. And I don't know if I'm going to be feeling as bad for him when that probably does happen at this point, just because I feel like he's mismanaged rotations brutally through the seasons. And I think he's a good coach, but I don't think that he is going to be able to make this roster work. I don't know if there's much more I need to say, except for that I will probably be even more miserable in the next video because we're playing the Clippers in 2 nights. The original Gobert Destroyers. And so I've been kind of sour with his play lately, and I'm sure it's just probably going to climax going up against that team. Cast back into mediocrity as we are cursed by Conley.